station you count on, the local news that matters. This is KARK4 today in high definition.
Good morning, Central Arkansas. On this Friday morning, you're taking a live look across the Arkansas River as we have breaking news to start this morning. But first, Pat's got a quick look at your weather.
Yeah, it's still rainfall this morning, even heavy rainfall in southeastern Arkansas to start off your Friday morning. It looks like the rain could be ending, though, for us here in Central Arkansas. More coming up in your weather on your 4s.
The date, Friday, November the 6th. Welcome to KARK4 today, 5 o'clock your time. We start this morning with breaking news. About 1 o'clock this morning, a bus crash happened in North Little Rock on Interstate 40 westbound. 6 people have died in North Little Rock. Now, Victoria Price has been live on the scene all morning long. She joins us now live with more. Victoria, what is the scene like? Paint the picture for us this morning.
Hey, good morning, Aaron. Right now on scene, still a very active scene, mind you. ASP and emergency crews are working to tow this bus from the scene. They've been working to kind of pull some of the wreckage to stabilize that vehicle for transport. Just in the past few minutes, we've learned a little bit more background information. We know that this bus is with Continental Charter Tours. It's a company out of Detroit, Michigan. This bus was on its way to Texas with 22 people, I'm told, on board. Now, out of those 22, 6 have been confirmed killed by this accident. Others, not an exact number, others were taken to the hospital. Some were on scene here for a little bit. The Red Cross is now setting those survivors up with some hotel rooms and some shelter for the time being. Now, the actual accident happened about a quarter mile from where we are right now. We are standing pretty much in front of the First Pentecostal Church here in North Little Rock, the westbound lane of I-40. We're told that the actual accident, the bus hit the overpass at that 167 interchange, the North Hills overpass. The bus continued to travel then to this point where we are right now. I'd say about a quarter of a mile, so you can only imagine what that stretch must have been like for those poor people on board. Again, crews here, ASP, getting ready to load this bus up onto the wrecker and take it away. I see them closing that front door, or at least trying to close it. But again, this is such a mangled wreckage. The whole back end of this bus is almost unrecognizable. It's really just a hard thing to look at, and I can't even imagine what that must have been like for those people on board. That's really all the information we have right now. Obviously, this is still a very early stage in this investigation. ASP still trying to do what they can to learn about what exactly happened and get that information back to us. So we will remain on scene. We're going to try to reach out to maybe some of the folks at First Pentecostal Church. At least one of them has come down and try to offer some help to the survivors on scene. So already some great assistance coming out from down here. But for now, I'm going to send it back to you guys in the studio. We'll check in just a little bit.
All right, Victoria Price reporting live in North Little Rock. Let's recap what we know at this point. About 1 o'clock this morning on Interstate 40 traveling westbound, a bus crash, a charter bus crashed on Interstate 40 near the North Hills exit, then traveled roughly a quarter mile to a 1/10 of a mile to its final stopping point. 6 people died during that crash. We now know that 22 people were on board, according to the Red Cross. The bus is based out of Michigan. It was moving from Michigan, taking the people on board to Texas. A tragic scene. Again, Victoria Price has been live all morning long. Very quickly, I want to show you exactly where the bus crash happened and where the bus is now. This is the North Hills interchange on Interstate 40. This is 167 coming from Jacksonville into North Little Rock. According to Arkansas State Police, the bus actually hit the overpass here on North Hills. The bus then traveled about a quarter of a mile to a 1/10 of a mile where it is now, which is in this location. Victoria Price will be live all morning long. She continues to find more information. As we get that information, we'll bring it to you right here on KARK4 today, as well as on our social media accounts, both Twitter and Facebook. Right now, it's 5:04. Let's get a first look of your forecast. And Pat, I know it's difficult to figure out why, but there was some rain left over on the roadways in Central Arkansas and in that area of North Little Rock.
You know, before I drove through there this morning, I actually stopped at a gas station, and the clerk in there said people stopped in and said how hard it was to drive in that rain. Hard to see, and I would think that might have played a role. Hopefully, you know, it might have played a role in that tragic crash there along I-40. in North Little Rock this morning. We're going to eventually have some cooler air moving in after all this rain's moving out. Still some rain in the state. Show you the radar in just a second. We're at 64 in Little Rock, a little cooler in northwest Arkansas, upper 60s now in southeast Arkansas, Monticello at 68 degrees. And for today, I'm going to go ahead and give our weather impact number a 1 because the rain is really beginning to move out. Other than southeast Arkansas, we're going to continue to have rainfall at least for most of the morning hours. But here in Little Rock and the metro, really just some light showers possible this morning. You can see some coming up along the I-30 corridor from Malvern up to around Benton and moving up into Little Rock. So really between now and 9 o'clock, it's really just a chance of some light showers here in Little Rock. But southeast Arkansas, from Pine Bluff down to Monticello, all the way down to El Dorado and Camden, are going to be looking at some heavy rainfall for looks like most of the morning hours. And even late in the day, we still may have some rainfall in southeastern Arkansas. But it should get a little bit lighter later on. But look at this, down along highway, from the highway from Star City down to Monticello this morning, all the way down to Hamburg. Look at that, just heavy rainfall. Here's 65 Highway 165 south of there. It's just still some very heavy downpours, so that's going to make driving even in southeast Arkansas a little difficult this morning. Hydroplaning could be an issue on some roadways, so just slow down and try to avoid driving through big puddles on the road. 72 degrees, our high temperature today, and we're giving it here in Little Rock a 20% chance of rainfall, but obviously southeast Arkansas, that's a 100% chance of rain because it's raining right now. 52 tonight, mostly cloudy. You're going to start getting cool tonight. We'll have a north wind of 5 to 10. Tomorrow it's going to be a little breezier, especially in the first half of the day. A north wind around 15 miles per hour at times. Will be partly sunny tomorrow, 65. Sunday morning, 43 degrees, then 59 are high on Sunday. A beautiful day, but obviously feeling like November for sure. Monday morning, 41, and it looks like most of next week, pretty cool, and more storms possible by next Wednesday. That's your weather on the 4s. Now here's Natalie with a check of your traffic.
All right, good morning, everyone. Heading out there on the roadways, of course, we're going to take a look at I-40 westbound right now where that accident took place. Now, there was very heavy traffic as just an hour ago as Pat Walker, he was coming into work saying that there was some slow-moving spots from 67 all the way on to I-40 westbound. Right now, it does look like things have cleared out. At last check, there were 2 lanes open on I-40 westbound near North Hills Boulevard. They were working on getting more lanes open, and it looks like traffic is moving smoothly again near this accident on I-40 westbound at North Hills. First Pentecostal Church also looks like traffic's going clear near that area too, but we will be keeping you posted as we head throughout the rest of the morning. I'll have traffic updates throughout the morning as well. All right, that's a quick look at your traffic. Stick around, much more KARK for today. Stay with us. We will be updating you on the fatal bus crash that took place overnight.
Developing news that we will continue to monitor until the 7 o'clock hour and throughout the morning here on KARK for today. A bus traveling from Michigan to Texas crashes in North Little Rock, killing 6 on board, multiple sent to the hospital. 22 people in all were on that bus. Here's a live look, or so a video of the bus rather, from the crash that happened again about 1 a.m.
Exactly right. This took place again near the North Hills Boulevard exit around 1 a.m. It's been about 4 hours since, and they're still working on cleaning up the scene right there. It's hard to imagine what had happened when you take a look at the image of the bus right there. Of course, devastating for those families involved. Red Cross on the scene right now, working with the victims that have not been taken to the hospital, clearly shaken up by this accident that took place through the overnight hours. They were traveling from Michigan to Texas, again, traveling through North Little Rock this morning.
We're also hearing that the Pentecostal Church, which is where this bus came to rest, also has members of their church on the scene helping out any victims that may need assistance, as we are now 4 hours from the accident when it happened. Let's take a look at exactly where this happened at. Interstate, you can see Interstate 40 there, 67 167 merges right there at North Hills. According to Arkansas State Police, the bus hit some part of the overpass there at North Hills. Now, it traveled about 1/10 of a mile to 1/4 of a mile to where it is now, which is in front of this church, the First Pentecostal Church in North Little Rock. We think they're back here around this sign. But again, that's a little bit of a drive from where the actual accident happened.
Right. We had Victoria Price live earlier, and they were working on moving the bus out of that sea right there. Right now, it does look like actually traffic is moving smoothly in that area. It looks like they're working on getting more lanes open. It was down to 1 and then 2 not too long ago. So it looks like they're possibly have more lanes open at this time. But of course, we are thinking of the folks impacted by this fatal bus crash that took place about 1 a.m. this morning.
We will continue to monitor this. We will be live with Victoria Price all morning long. Time to take a break on KARK4 today. Pat Walker has a look at your weekend forecast right around the break.
Hey, good morning, everybody. 5:14 your time, and time for your weather on the 4s this morning. Still waking up with some shower chances here in central Arkansas. A lot of heavy rain in southeast Arkansas. I'll give you an update on the 4-1 live Doppler radar in just a minute. But at 7 o'clock this morning, around 63 degrees, and that rain chance should be ending for us here in Little Rock for sure by noon. 69 then, 69 at 5 o'clock. We'll have a high in between noon and 5 o'clock of 72. Not really foggy this morning, but still some low clouds a couple hundred feet up off the ground. 64 degrees in Little Rock and a south wind at 5 right now. 64 in Stuttgart, Pine Bluff 63, Monticello 68 with heavy rainfall this morning. Harrison 56 up in Fayetteville, the cool spot this morning, stayed at 50, where a cold front is just now entering the state. As I said, really fog's not a big issue. 10-mile visibility in Little Rock. It's 2.5 out in Mena, so a couple of spots this morning that may be seeing a little bit lower visibility. Here's the radar and forward live Doppler radar. You can see down in southeast Arkansas, we still have a lot of that heavy rainfall coming down this morning. Just some light showers moving along the I-30 corridor up into Little Rock. But here from Pine Bluff southward, all the way down to Monticello, across at Hamburg, over to Dumas and into Desha County, northern Chico County, even El Dorado, looking at very heavy rainfall still in southeast Arkansas. I think it's going to be raining heavily in southeast Arkansas up until noon, and then after that, things may begin to come to an end. So northwest Arkansas actually a little bit clearer now from the clouds, and look, our fronts just barely clipped through there. One little weak area of high pressure moves in the day, starts drying us out a little bit, but the next one starts moving in over the weekend. That really brings in the very, very cool, chilly air this weekend. And so as the day wears on, the rain in southeast Arkansas pushes on out. Generally, though, the clouds will stick around for most of the day. Tomorrow, we'll start having a little more clearing of the sky. All in all, though, we'll call it partly sunny for tomorrow. Today, though, cloudy to mostly cloudy, 72 the high temperature, eventually having a north wind at 5 to 10 as that cold front begins to push through. Tonight, we're going to fall down to 52 degrees. Tomorrow, 65 degrees, and by Sunday morning, we're going to start off in the lower 40s, which is actually seasonal for this time of year. Natalie?
All right, taking a look at the roadways this morning, we're going to go ahead and look right at I-40 westbound near North Hills. This is where the fatal bus crash took place overnight about 1 a.m. Looks like things now are clearing out. At last check with Victoria Price live there, she said there were 2 lanes open, and at that time there was still some moderate traffic near that area. Here again is where that accident is located, and it does look like possibly more lanes have been cleared out as of right now. We will be keeping you posted. Red Cross, of course, on the scene helping out with folks affected by that crash this morning, possibly again throughout the morning causing even more traffic. So we'll be updating you as the scene continues.
Natalie, thank you. Again, developing news for you this morning. 6 people are dead after a charter bus crashed traveling from Michigan to Texas, crashed in North Little Rock, again killing 6. 22 were on board. Victoria Price has been live on the scene this morning. Victoria, what is the latest that you know? I know the bus actually has been moved from behind you.
Yeah, the scene has been cleared here on I-40 westbound. So, Natalie, to answer your question earlier, all lanes of travel have been reopened here heading westbound on I-40. A recap for you who have not been following through the whole morning. This accident was first reported around 1 o'clock this morning. What we're told by Arkansas State Police is this bus was traveling westbound on I-40. It hit the 167 interchange North Hills overpass, continued to travel then for about quarter of a mile or so, eventually coming to a stop here pretty close to the First Pentecostal Church here in North Little Rock. Again, that was reported around 1 o'clock this morning. The bus was not transported until after 5 a.m. So this was an active scene for many hours out here. At one point in time, all lanes of travel were closed here on I-40 westbound. Those have since been reopened, and the scene has been, for the most part, cleared. There are still a couple ASP officers on scene. The Red Cross is also on scene assisting some of the survivors who were not transported to the hospital, those who were maybe not injured but just shaken up. They are still on scene as well. The Red Cross tells me they are working to get get some of those folks accommodation, hotel rooms and whatnot, since they are not locally from the area. So still a few folks out here, but for the most part, the scene is cleared. The bus has been transported, and for now, the investigation will continue. We're going to remain on scene, but Aaron, I'll send it back to you for now.
Victoria Price, thank you so much. Again, to recap, about 1 o'clock this morning, a bus traveling from Michigan to Texas crashed in North Little Rock, killing 6 people, sending a lot of those folks to the hospital, other passengers to the hospital. 22 were on board. We're going to continue to follow this. This is a look at that Continental bus that crashed in North Little Rock. Again, Victoria Price will be live all morning long. DJ.
Yes, the UAPB's Golden Lions homecoming events begin this weekend, and our Kira Miner is live this morning with more. Good morning, Kira.
Hey, good morning, you guys. That's right. I'm out here at University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, the Golden Lions, and they are getting for a big weekend. It's a home game against Southern University tomorrow, but next week is a pretty big weekend also because it's homecoming week, and we have Tisha Arnold with us this morning. Thanks so much for being with us dark and early today. And so what kind of events do you have planned for homecoming next week?
Well, this is our annual celebration. The theme this year is golden, and we'll be having everything from coronation, which crowns the 86th Miss University of Arkansas Pine Bluff, including our parade, which the community loves to come out to, our game, Greek show. A lot of our alumni like to come back for that. So it's just a great event, great week of events. A lot of things going on next week.
Right, a lot of events going on that week, and that begins November 8th through the 14th.
Correct. Yeah, it begins Sunday, November 8th with a gospel extravaganza. We'll have choirs from around the state, including Henderson State University, Philander Smith, and more. So a lot going on. You can actually see the full schedule of events at uapb.edu/homecoming.
Okay, and then another question we just have, what's the economic impact to the city of Pine Bluff?
Oh my gosh, for years, more than $1 million comes into this city. The population swells every year around this time because all of our alumni come back. You're talking thousands of people from all around the country, from graduates from 1946 all the way to 2014. So okay. You'll get to see a huge cadre of people.
All right, so a lot of people coming out for that. All right, and coming up next half hour, we're going to showcase some of the cheerleaders, the band, and a whole lot more. So stay with us coming up in about 30 minutes. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Kira. Very excited to see that UAPB marching band get cranked up and going, one of the best in the state. But stay with us. We're going to go to a break for now. When we come back, Pat Walker will have a look at your weather on the 4s.
Good morning, everybody. Still waking up with some pretty warm temperatures, well above normal. Normal temperatures for this time of the day and this time of the year should be in the 40s. Nobody in the state is in the 40s. Fayetteville close at 50, but we're at 64 degrees here in Little Rock. Hot Springs and Arkadelphia as well, 64. Pine Bluff, 63. Monticello, 68. Even northeast Arkansas, 63 degrees in Batesville and in Jonesboro. We're going to be up to 72 degrees here for this Friday. A mild day, mostly cloudy. Still some rainfall this morning. I'll give you an update here on the 4-1 Live Doppler radar in just a second. Tomorrow's going to be breezy. We're going to get our front really pushing out of the state, and so we're going to see the cooler air moving in. A high of 65 tomorrow. So this is what November should be like. Sunday, a high of 59 degrees as we start off in the 40s on Sunday morning. So 4-1 Live Doppler radar still active from Little Rock and southeastward. Here in Little Rock, though, the activity, very, very light activity. We've seen some light showers coming up along the I-30 corridor from Malvern into Benton and Bryant, moving through Little Rock, now up to around at Beebe, moving up to Searcy. Our rain chances here in Little Rock really over the next couple hours, and that's pretty much going to be it, and very light shower activity here. But just go down to Pine Bluff. Right from there southward, it continues to be heavy rainfall, pushing into Arkansas County, Phillips County, to Shea County as well, back down into Calhoun County and Union County. Some very heavy rainfall along Highway 278 from Hampton down into El Dorado. So south and southeast Arkansas is going to have the heavy rainfall, it looks like, through much of this morning. And finally, some clearing now in northwest Arkansas, although I think we're going to remain cloudy here in Little Rock, or at least mostly cloudy all day long. One little weak area of high pressure moves in today, and that's why we're not really cooling down today, because this one really doesn't have the cool air. This one back in the Rockies, that has the cool air. So as our front moves in, eventually we get rid of some of the clouds from this weak area of high pressure. But all in all here, at least central Arkansas, we stay mostly cloudy, and cloudy down in south Arkansas. That high kind of fades out by tomorrow, and then the real cool air starts moving in tomorrow morning. It'll be a breezy day to start off our Saturday, and eventually we'll start seeing more and more sunshine. But all in all, it'll be a partly partly sunny day. Now by Sunday morning, we'll be pretty chilly. Temperatures in the 40s across the state, maybe some upper 30s in North Arkansas. We've been talking about maybe some frost on Sunday morning. It doesn't look like we'll have it Sunday morning, even in North Arkansas, because I think there will be too much wind and may not even be cold enough. But by Monday morning, with lighter winds, far north Arkansas, Mountain Home and Harrison might have a little patchy frost. Not here in Little Rock, though. 72 our high today, mostly cloudy, a north wind at 5 to 10, and a slight chance of a shower this morning. And for that, we give the weather impact number today a 1. Tonight and tomorrow, it's a 0. Now check out these temperatures over the weekend as a drop. We'll still be pretty cool next week. We'll warm back up in the 70s next Wednesday and have another chance of thunderstorms as well in the middle of next week. Stick around. We'll be right back after the break.
From the station you count on, the local news that matters. This is KARK4 today in high definition.
We're still looking at some rainfall this morning in southeast Arkansas. Heavy rainfall there. Some light showers still possible early this Friday morning here in central Arkansas. We'll talk about some chilly weather coming up in your weather on the 4s.
Friday, November the 6th. Welcome to KARK4 today. It is 5:30. We start with developing news if you're just waking up at 5:30. Unfortunate news that we have to tell you about. A bus traveling from Michigan to Texas carrying 22 people crashes in North Little Rock, killing 6 people. And Pat Walker, you drove through that area. I guess it was about 3:30, an hour and a half, 2 hours after the accident happened. What'd you see?
Well, what I saw, first of all, was just the amount of lights, the amount of response to 20 maybe state police officers out there, all the lights, AHTD lights directing traffic as well, and you realize this is something big. And you come up, I came up to the North Hills Bridge, the overpass there, and I said, wow, you know, there's stuff all over the roadway. We only had 1 lane. That's 4 lanes there. But only 1 lane on I-40 westbound was open, and that was the inside lane, the interior lane. And then you can see up ahead by the Pentecostal church, more lights. Like, what's going on up here? Is this 2 things? But that's where the bus was at that moment.
I don't want you to speculate on what caused the accident, but driving through when you did, was the road wet? Could you see where it was overly dark, not a lot of lighting? Yeah. Do you think that was a contributing factor to what happened?
Before I drove through there, I'd stopped off at a gas station in my neighborhood, and the guy said people were stopping in overnight saying they couldn't see, the rain was so heavy. This accident happened maybe an hour or less after the really heavy rainfall moved through. It was still raining. Road spray on the road, I think, could be a contributing factor to this.
All right, let's move to what's happening now. Victoria Price joins us live. Victoria, you have been there all morning long. What has happened over the last 30 minutes? Get us up to date.
Well, really, for the most part, the scene has cleared. Pat, all those emergency crews and lights that you saw earlier have, for the most part, left the scene. They've towed the wreckage of the bus away. Some of the survivors who were out here on the side of the road with blankets and whatnot, they've now been taken away. The Red Cross is helping those survivors who were not taken to the hospital now have some shelter, putting them up in hotels and things like that. I'm actually going to bring in Bridget Williams from the Red Cross. They're about to clear the scene, but before you go, Bridget, just tell us what you can so far about your response and these victims out here this morning.
Well, we were here as we would be with any other disaster. People are surprised to find out that the Red Cross does respond to transportation accidents. Our role is to take care of those people who were involved. So we have those people who were not injured, we've had them over to the side, provided them with blankets, hot coffee, and just a calm atmosphere, as you can imagine how shaken that they are to be awakened in such a tragic accident. And now they have been taken to a local hotel where hopefully they can get some well-deserved sleep and rest before they continue their journey.
And I can't even imagine what a traumatic thing that must have been for them to go through. Did any of them speak to you at all or express any emotion, or did they tell you anything about what had happened?
They did not, and we didn't want to obviously query them about what they've gone through. What we do know is obviously they're just still trying to process everything. So our volunteers are here, and they were just, I think, a real comfort for them, and everyone just huddling together and just comforting each other.
And then now what's next for you in the Red Cross?
Other than responding to whatever may come up today, we have taken care of the passengers at this point. They have been in contact with the company that they work for. So at this point, we have turned them over to them, and hopefully they'll have a safe journey on their way.
Bridget Williams with the Red Cross. Thank you so much for being here this morning. When we first arrived on scene, there was also a representative with the First Pentecostal Church that was just pulling up. They had heard something about what happened, didn't know the specifics, just knew that something really terrible had happened right in front of their church. So I believe they were offering some assistance as well. I think the Red Cross kind of swooped in and took over. I see that response from the church out here in North Little Rock as well. The scene, again, mostly cleared. Most of the lights are gone right now, but the investigation is still very early, very ongoing. ASP trying to update us when they can, but obviously their priority is to get the facts straight for themselves and then pass along those facts to us. So we will continue trying to get more information for you guys, but for now, Aaron, I'm going to send it back to you in the studio.
Victoria, thank you so much. Very difficult to report on stories like this, and we appreciate that, Victoria. Thank you. Again, the Arkansas Red Cross, they're saying that their job right now is to take care of the victims. They have moved those victims to local hotels. Some are in the hospital. 6 passed away of 22 traveling from Michigan to Texas who crashed in a bus, a charter bus, in North Little Rock.
Yeah, I think we're 7 are in the hospital. Is that right?
I have not heard exact numbers, but it is one thing that I do like to hear. Not only did the Red Cross show up, this is the First Pentecostal Church. How quickly Arkansans show up to support anything that happens
in the middle
tragic.
of the night. In the middle of the night.
Absolutely. It is just after 5:34. Pat's going to take over and walk us through your weekend forecast.
Yeah, things have been getting better for us this weekend. And we did have you could say the heavy rainfall with the severe weather chances from last night, some damaging winds out in far western Arkansas. We had the downpours here. We got nearly an inch of rainfall in Little Rock within an hour's time as that rain moved through between midnight and 1 o'clock. It's 64 degrees in Little Rock right now. Pine Bluff at 63, Hot Springs and Arkadelphia 64. Still pretty mild and warm this morning. And guess what? You know, we still have that heavy rainfall in southeast Arkansas. We're likely going to have that for quite some time this morning. Some really, really light spotty showers here through central Arkansas and in Little Rock this morning. Giving it about a 20% chance of showers for us here, but southeast Arkansas still has this heavy rainfall from Pine Bluff down to Dumas, Monticello, Crossett, and El Dorado as well. And just look at this heavy rainfall in northern parts of Deshay County. Well, I'd say northern. It's all of Deshay County and southern Arkansas County as well with that very, very heavy rain. 72 our high today, still pretty well above normal. Tonight, 52. That's going to be above normal, but we'll have a north wind. We'll start getting cool. And by sunrise tomorrow morning, it's going to be pretty breezy around here, and that's going to keep driving in cooler and drier air too. Tomorrow will be partly sunny, breezy, 65. Sunday morning, 43, then 59 are high on Sunday, sunny, and definitely feeling like November. We'll be warming up a little bit next week with more thunderstorms possible around next Wednesday. That's a look at your forecast. Now here's Natalie letting us know how the traffic's doing.
All right, taking a look at those roadways, what's going on out there. Of course, we're taking a look at I-40 westbound right now at the location of that fatal bus crash that happened around 1 a.m. We are looking at where the accident is located, and things actually clear right now. All lanes have been opened, backed up on I-40 westbound this morning. We're going to be watching this as we head throughout the rest of the morning. Folks still on the scene out there, but again, roadways are clear at the scene of that accident, I-40 westbound and North Hills Boulevard. All right, that's a quick look at your traffic. Stick around, we'll have much more KRK4 today.
Now, from the station you count on, the local news that matters. This is KARK4 today in high definition.
All right, time for your Razorback Roundtable. Hogs taking the field tomorrow and try to pick up their second conference road win. It's playing Ole Miss this Saturday, tomorrow, of course. Tell me a little bit about what you're thinking going into this game.
I'm thinking we have to slow down their star-studded quarterback, Chad Kelly, leading the SEC in passing. Big guy who gets it done in the air and with his feet, but if he gets on a roll and gets hot, he could have a big day in the air against the Hogs.
I think the key to this game is the offensive and defensive line play. I'm not worried about Chad Kelly throwing the ball around, to be honest with you. I think Rob Smith's defense will bend and not break. If Arkansas can get pressure on Kelly, it changes the complexion of the game. And if Arkansas's offensive line can stop the front four of Ole Miss, which could be the best in the country. Yeah. With Robert Candice, I predict a very low-scoring game that Arkansas wins.
Yeah. I'm with them, Nat. I do think that it's going to be a big task for our defensive line, especially since they got their left tackle back, who struggled after being out up until 2 weeks ago, but he's a projected first-round pick.
Larry Tunsil.
So, yeah, he's going to even protect Chad Kelly more. but our front four has to do a good job getting pressure because we don't really blitz too often, but when we do, we get beat in man-to-man coverage all the time.
And one thing that you were talking about as well as Pat is that this is still
a
winnable. Yeah, you could win the conference.
There's a scenario that Arkansas ends up winning the SEC West and going to the SEC championship game. But first things first, got to win Saturday. Speaking of winning, Arkansas State with a big win on the road last night. The Red Wolves taking on Appalachian State in North Carolina. Arkansas State coming from behind to win 40-27. Now seizes control of the Sun Belt Conference.
Wow, are they still undefeated?
In conference, they are.
Wow. Okay, Red Wolves. I see you, A-State representing.
Exciting stuff for them. All right, well, we're going to have some score predictions coming up here shortly, talking about what we think with Arkansas Ole Miss. But coming up after the break, Pat has a look at your forecast. And UCA hosting a special dance concert this weekend. So join us with more after the break.